The student fees, yes, we need student fees. Whether at this point, because we're auxiliary, we're separate from the institution's budget. Yeah, we need student fees to help make our budget. Now, I want to make it clear that this is not an anomaly of what we're doing here at South Carolina State. There are every school in the country except 24 of them that are receiving some subsidy from their institution. And I was looking at a report, pulled a report, and as I went and did a quick analysis of schools, I'll just tell you, I'm gonna just go down a couple. South Carolina, their revenue, $98 million, 98.6. Their expenses were 95.7. Their subsidy was $5 million from the institution. But we know, and then Clemson's revenue was $74 million with the expenses of $73. And they have $4.3 million in subsidy. But to put it closer to us, Coastal Carolina, but their revenue, $23.3 million. Their expenses, 23.8. So just that alone, they're over budget. But their subsidy that make up that 23 million was $19.1 million. So when you look at it, I'm like, okay, now I have to give you College of Charleston too. I give you the people that are close. Their revenue was 17.4. Their expenses were 18.1, and they had 13.1 in subsidy. So again, is this an anomaly for South Carolina State to have those fees? No, but and there's a number out there that says South Carolina State, we in this report, it was $9.8 million in revenue. We had $9.8 million in expenses, and the subsidy that we got from the institution was $6 million. So they kept saying, well, you're $6 million in the hole. Well, no, if you're in the hole, that means here's your budget. You were given this budget and you went outside the budget. South Carolina State has not been outside of its budget, particularly this year. We had our budget and we've run in the black. We have not overspent what we were budgeted. And that's where that $6 million keep coming. And I'm like, okay, we're not $6 million in the hole. So
yeah, I saw that list yesterday, and
you did?
It kind of, like I said, by comparison, you can see the differences and all, but also it concerns people when you see the expenditures were this, and this is what you had coming in. So
exactly. Now, are we asking for smaller schools to be self-sufficient? Your revenue, you have to have the same amount of revenue as you do as your expenses. It's going to be tough for any small schools. Again, we got 24 schools in the country that have that. So everyone else, it will be tough for everyone else. And just like the names I just read off, if that was the case for them, without subsidy, every last sporting schools that I was just naming would be in trouble.
I think most of them are pretty positive also. Everybody's a little bit concerned. Football is a little bit different animal because the summertime is one where you got all kinds of things going on. Even the high schools now, have weightlifting going on. They got 7-on-7 leagues going on. They got all kinds of different kinds of team style kinds of building kind of affairs going on. And the fact that we are now talking to them about possibly not coming to summer school, which is a little bit different kind of scenario than what we've had in the past, is a little bit of a concern. But now, we've had this happen before in 2000, I think maybe 9, somewhere in that neck of the woods. We didn't do a summer school for summer 2, and we won a conference that year. So, that's happened. That we've had to do this before, and we returned. We think a pretty sound group of players. We think we're pretty stout in some positions, and we got some pretty high level guys in some positions. So, we are hoping that we can weather that storm with the fact that we've got a pretty experienced group returning. a little bit worried about, you know, the scholarship piece at this point because, you know, it is a big concern when you start talking about football. We are the biggest fish in that whole pond. You got to make sure that you get all your guys here and get them in the right places and make sure you got everybody kind of happily taken care of.
Right.
I'm hoping that we get that piece taken care of in a way that we can keep all of our guys in place and keep everybody at the place that we actually promised them.
Right.
A lot of us about the integrity of what we've said as opposed to what we actually end up doing.
Right.
And you know, if we can do what we said we do, especially this year, you know, anytime you got enough time to actually, you know, regroup as the year goes on, maybe for next year,
Right.
then you know, you got a chance to kind of make some changes that way. But at this point, because we at such a late date, I'm awfully concerned about the fact that we got to make sure that we do what we said we got to do, and we don't have much time to get it done.